I want to welcome all of you to Current Topics in Autism. Today's lecture is on the benefits of living in San Diego. This is number 6 in a 6-part series that we've offered to you this fall, and we want to welcome all of you for joining us. This presentation series actually has been a collaborative effort between SmartCare Behavioral Health Consultation Services, which is a program of Vista Hill Foundation here in San Diego, and the Autism Society San Diego. First, just a little bit about SmartCare Behavioral Health Consultation Services and myself. I'm Shirley Fett. I am a family nurse practitioner. I'm also a pediatric mental health specialist in the Behavioral Health Consultation Services program. I'll let Alyssa, my colleague, introduce herself as well.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Label, and I'm the program manager at SmartCare Behavioral Health Consultation Services. We are a nonprofit county program, and we support primary care doctors in providing mental health services to their clients, as well as supporting families, adults and children getting connection to mental health resources out in the community. And we're so happy we're able to partner with the Autism Society to put on this training. One of the reasons why I'm so excited is because I myself am the older sister of a young man who has autism. So it's very important to me that we know all the wonderful resources out in this community. So thank you, Shirley.
Thank you. And as we've mentioned, this is a collaborative lecture series with the Autism Society San Diego. The mission of the Autism Society is to improve the lives of all affected by autism. If you'd like to learn more about our organization, who we are, if you have any questions, I've listed our website as well as email and phone number for you here. I am a volunteer board member as well of the Autism Society San Diego, as Alyssa is. I've been on the board for a long time. My personal interest in autism is that I am the mother of 2 adult sons who are now 28 and 30 years old, both afflicted with autism spectrum disorder. They're wonderful. They live with my husband and I here in San Diego. In today's language, they would be considered level 3 autism with intellectual delay and speech impairment. They have a great life, and certainly we enjoy the benefits of living in San Diego and all the resources and opportunities there are for individuals in our community, which is sort of the inspiration for today's lecture. I thought, I know about a lot of things that are going on in the community, and I think all of you should as well. I think it's important for all of us living in California to understand a little bit of the history of developmental services and why services look the way they do today for us. I'm always inspired when I read a little bit about the history of people that had children on the spectrum back in the 50s and the 60s. They really had no resources. Some of you may not be aware of it, but the common thinking of psychologists back in the day was that it was the mother's fault. There was a term for mothers of children with autism. They were called refrigerator mothers. But these women and the dads and the families, there was a cohort of them who said, no, we're going to make their lives better. This isn't our fault, and we know this. And they banded together and really lobbied the state of California at the time and got an assemblyman named Mr. Lanterman to agree to write legislation. And after their great efforts, and in 1969, they were successful in passing the Lanterman Developmental Disabilities Act. That's why it's named that, because he was an elected official who championed this and got it pushed through and got it secured for all of us. This is really significant, I think, for all of you to know, because it's a law in the state of California that the state of California has to provide services for developmentally delayed population. It's not optional. California is unique than any other state in the country in that they actually have this enacted into a law that it's a line item in the budget every year. It can't be removed. It can't be eliminated. So we owe a lot to our forefathers and our foremothers in this regard. And they really, really laid the groundwork for the service model that we get today. By no means am I here to tell you it's perfect, but if you talk to families or other individuals living in other states in the country, there are a few states who have very good services, but by and large, most of them will have waiting lists of like 8-10 years for some services. And that's because there is no law that says they have to get services. It's like, this is our pot of money. This is how many people we can provide services for with the money that the state's allocated to us. And the rest of you are just going to have to wait until somebody either moves away, passes away, no longer wants the services, and then you might get services. And that's literally what's happening in a lot of states is there's waiting lists or no services available because they don't have to provide them. In California, they have to because of this. Part of the outcome of the Lanterman Developmental Disabilities Act was they said, well, we need to create a system for delivering these services. We need to create a way for all of this law to be effectively implemented and get to the people it's intended to. And that's how regional centers were formed. Again, no other state in the country has regional centers. This was an outcome of this law. So regional centers are formed. You know that we have the San Diego Regional Center here, but they're up and down the state. There's a total of 22 of them throughout the state of California. And so these are privately run system of care that gets funded through the Department of Developmental Services. And the reason they get funded is because of the Lanterman Act. Like I said, it's a line item in the budget. They have to get funding every year to meet the needs of everybody in our state. What it did is it enabled parents of children with even the severest disabilities to care for their children at home and has provided a cost-effective means for adults with developmental disabilities to receive essential services and supports they need to live safely and with dignity in mainstream society. This law was reaffirmed by the California State Supreme Court in 1985. So again, I think it's really important that we just sort of have appreciation for, like I said, the people that came before us that were parents and really did a good job for securing services for us for the lifespan for everybody in California. So the regional centers, just a little bit more about that. Again, I said that's unique. And I think it is one of the benefits of living in California and in San Diego is that we do have a system of care and we do have a regional center. They are private, independent, nonprofit corporations, and each one covers a different geographic area. They are contracted by the state of California through the Department of Developmental Services, as I've mentioned, and their role is to coordinate lifelong services and supports for people with developmental disabilities and their families. So if you are accepted as a regional center client, you or your loved one, they are regional center clients for life. I think some people think, oh, do they age out of it or they don't get services anymore? It's like, no, because these are developmental disabilities, they know people don't recover from them. Yes, people improve, but a developmental disability is something that impacts a person for their lifespan. So their services are lifespan developed. Regional centers also help support individuals with developmental disabilities and their families by identifying local resources and other community-based services to best fit the individual's needs. So that's one of the things that I think is a benefit of living here. So let's talk about just some local fun things. And I would like to say that a lot of things were present and available to us prior to COVID, and there's still a lot of things that are shut down. So I'm hoping with the pandemic, hopefully in our rearview mirror, and things are getting a little better, things are opening up, that even more of these opportunities will come up. We try on the Autism Society San Diego Facebook social media page to post when we get announcements about things like this coming up, but I will share with you that these are things that are currently going on. So Chuck E. Cheese for the littles, they have a sensory sensitive Sunday, and they're open 2 hours early the first Sunday of each month. And when I checked the website of Chuck E. Cheese, there are multiple locations in San Diego County that are doing this. So I would encourage you to go to this link and just see if the location that you're interested in going to does this. But I think it's great because I remember when my sons were small, I'd be like, oh, do I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese? It's kind of wild. Are they going to run all over the place? It's just going to be hard behaviorally. People aren't going to understand them. And so I think this is a really wonderful opportunity for our families to get in there and really be able to enjoy the space without those concerns. And I would also call the location and say, hey, are you doing this or not? Just to be sure. We all know that restaurants and retail spaces and all of these places are struggling to getting staffing and so on. So I always encourage you to call as well. But the good news is they say they're doing this. The Children's Discovery Museum in Escondido also offers a special needs day and time. It's the first and third Sunday mornings of each month, which is again available to our population. I would call them just to be sure that it's happening. A local mom put together, when your child is a runner, the top 7 contained San Diego parks. Again, I can relate to this. A lot of our kids like to run, they're elopers, and it becomes a high anxiety situation for us as parents. These are parks that actually have fences around them and are contained. So you can feel a little bit more secure having you and your children go and play at these parks with a little bit of boundary on them. So I thought that was a good resource for all of you. San Diego Park and Recreation has a therapeutic recreation services department. They are wonderful, and you do not necessarily have to live in San Diego to access their services. You can live anywhere in San Diego County. They welcome you. And so they have a comprehensive website, but I wanted to let you know they do have programming starting for children at the age of 3. So again, I would contact them, see what they've got up and running. When I checked their site, it looked like they are starting to have a lot of their programming and activities running for all ages. So a good resource and free for the most part. If they charge you, it's minimal. For some of the things, there might be a little overhead, but it's a very reasonable and very well supported programming. You know, as we get older, teens and adults, this is a new group that was started by a local San Diego County mom. It's called the SHODA. SHODA is an acronym for the Social Hub of Diverse Adults. So we get a lot of inquiries about how to make friends, how to socialize as people become adults. This is her email and her phone number, and they are arranging various community-based get-togethers. I think they also had some Zoom meetings. So I would just call and or email this location and find out exactly what they have going on. But I thought it was a really nice opportunity, and it's fairly new. Via de Vida is in Poway, and it is actually an apartment complex, and it's all for special needs adults. So I would encourage you, if you're looking for housing, go tour it. It's beautiful. I went and saw it. I think there's about 50 plus apartments there, and it's really lovely. I felt like I was in a high-end hotel, frankly, when I went into the lobby. It was beautiful. They have a lot of really great activities going on there. The activities, the social outings, which is what I wanted to mention to all of you, are available to the community at large. So it's not just for people that are living there. So I think that's a good opportunity. I checked their website. They are planning outings as we speak, and this is for individuals 18 and older. So a good resource. As I mentioned, San Diego Park and Rec Therapeutic Services has programming starting at age 3, but they also have programming going all the way through adulthood. And it's really age appropriate stuff. So as people get older, they might all make an arrangement to go to a Padres game. They've actually done bus trips up to Big Bear so they can go skiing, bus trips to Disneyland. So the level of support they will provide if you need it. So there's a lot of really nice variety of activities. I would encourage you to look at that. And again, they serve all ages. Our organization, Autism Society San Diego, I'm going to talk a little bit more detail about all the things we do, but there are some things that we are specifically doing that target this age group. And we have partnered with Sensory Friendly San Diego to provide films with friends and an imagination workshop. And this is for teens ages 13 and older. Information about these 2 activities can be found on our website as well as our meetup site. And then there's another group that's been going now for a few months called Spectrum Social, and they've been meeting virtually via Zoom. The goal is that they will actually start having some in-person meetings. This group is facilitated and run by a young man on the autism spectrum. And again, it's for 18 and older adults that want to socialize, make friend connections, and just have a welcoming community. So again, those are all free, and we support those activities here in our community. The beauty of living in San Diego and California is look at all the fun places we can go, right? There's a ton of amusement and theme parks. So we can love them, we can hate them. We can love them because they're fun and it's awesome, but we can also hate them because it can be very anxiety provoking to thinking about taking our autistic family member to one of these places for all the reasons we know. Sensory overload, waiting in line, not having the foods that the person might like to eat, and so on. So the good news is many of these parks recognize and try to. Somebody needs to mute themselves, please. Let's see if we can find who that is. Or maybe you can. There you go. Thank you. Thanks. So here we go. So San Diego Zoo and Safari Park is very, very good to us, and they will provide with a paid entrance, either if it's a single day or a season pass. They will, with a paid entrance, you can get a companion pass for free. So that could be you as the parent, it could be a respite worker, it could be whoever the other person is that's there as the support person for the child or the adult to go. And this is also true for an annual pass. So really great. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity for us here in San Diego. Similarly, SeaWorld has the same program with a paid entrance. You can get a companion pass for free. It is applicable again for day passes and annual passes. And you also, when you go to guest relations to access this, you can also get a map that can show you disability access to shows and rides. And usually these shows and rides are, the access is through the exit. And so what you do is you go up and you show them that you have a disability pass, and then they will allow you to go in through the exit and wait there to board and enter different things. So that's what that'll do. Legoland, similarly, you can get a companion pass for free with paid admission, and they will also give you disability access to rides via the exits. So again, really nice accommodations. We're very excited that Sesame Place is going to be opening in South Bay, San Diego, where formerly Aquatica, the water park, was. The Autism Society San Diego is working with them right now to try and coordinate some fun events when they have their opening in mid-March of next year. They are designated a certified autism center. When we met with them, we said, well, what's a certified autism center mean? And what they told us was that means that all their staff goes through autism training. They will have designated areas throughout the park where individuals can go, take a break, quiet, sensory calming, this type of thing. So I don't know what they're going to offer our community in terms of discounts, companion passes. I'm hoping that because they are affiliated with SeaWorld, that's the parent company, that they will offer a similar opportunity where paid entrance, companion pass is free. But I don't want to tell you that's happening yet because I don't think they've announced that. But stay tuned for more to come. Disneyland does not provide discounted passes for a companion or a free entry. Once upon a time, they used to provide disability access passes during kind of slow seasons, which would be in January, February each year. And we were able to get on the list and provide Disneyland tickets for significantly less. Like, if they were $100 and some, we got them for like $50. That is gone. And I would love to tell you that it's coming back, but I have heard nothing from Disneyland and that they're going to do that again. That being said, they're in the process of re-engineering their disability access services and how they are going to help people with disabilities enter, exit the rides, wait times, and all of that. And so stay tuned. Apparently they've already launched it at Disney World and they're getting ready to launch it in December or January this year. So all I can do to tell you is just to stay tuned to Disneyland and see what they have to offer, but there is no financial breaks right now on entering the park. Knott's Berry Farm similarly does not offer discounted passes or companion passes, but they do offer disability access with shortened wait times and access to rides through the exits there, so there isn't a long wait. That park also tends to be a little less busy than some of these others, so I think it's a little easier to get around there. It's a little bit smaller. Six Flags is also a certified autism center in the state of California, and you will get a disability pass. That's not the same as a companion pass for free. It just means that you can get access to the rides through the exits again and short wait times. Similarly with Universal Studios up in LA, again, they will provide you a guest relations with disability access with assigned return times for rides and shows, no discount on tickets. I called Birch Aquarium, which, as you know, is up in the La Jolla area here in San Diego. It's a lovely place if you've never been there, and it's very manageable. And they confirmed that they will provide a free pass with one paid admission. So if, again, respite worker, you as the parent or caregiver want to take your loved one to Birch Aquarium, they will only charge you for that individual and will give you a companion pass for free.
Oh, hello. I'll be right there.
Can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. So I want to talk a little bit about a lot of variety of sports activities that are going on here in San Diego. First of all, we in the Autism Society are big proponents of everyone on the autism spectrum learning to swim. Many, many swimming pools in our area, obviously access to the ocean and lots of bodies of water. For those of you that don't know this, drowning is the leading cause of death in children 14 and under with autism spectrum disorder. Drowning. So why is that? Because they have a love for water, no regard for safety, and that's where they head if they have access to it. So swimming lessons is really important for everyone, but particularly for our loved ones. Autism Society San Diego has what's called a Pool Pals program. We provide scholarships for one-on-one swimming lessons with our community partner AquaPro, so that individuals on the autism spectrum get one-on-one lessons with individuals skilled working with autism spectrum disorder individuals. So I encourage you to, again, to go to our website, put in swimming lessons, and you'll see the program there and how to access that. Again, that's not age specific. If you've got a 20-year-old and you want them to learn to swim, well, that can happen. It's not just for the littles. Multiple YMCAs throughout San Diego County do offer autism swimming lessons. Somebody asked me if I knew which ones. It ebbs and flows. I would just contact your local YMCA and ask if they have autism swimming lesson programs going. It depends on if they get grant funding, and once the grant funding runs out, then I don't think they do it as much. So again, just check with your local Y, but there are multiple sites that do this. Another wonderful nonprofit here in San Diego is Sports for Exceptional Athletes. They have many, many different sports. I'm always amazed when I go to their website at the wide variety of sports. There's really something for everyone there. And they do start providing services and sports programs starting at age 5 through adults. And they also do seasonal things. So like, for example, right now, I think they've got basketball going on, but they have soccer, basketball, bowling, tennis, all kinds of really, really amazing things. So again, I encourage you to check it out. Wonderful organization. Another sports activity, if you will, is a free monthly family pool party. We host that at the Autism Society. We just had that party, I think last Saturday. It's the second Saturday of every month at the Boys and Girls Club swimming pool in Claremont, co-hosted by AquaPro Swim School. These are free, again, not age specific. We typically have over 100 people at these parties, and it's an indoor heated pool. You get to come swim for a couple hours, no judgment zone, pizza's served, beverages are served, and everybody has a really nice time. So again, invite all of you to, if you think that's something you would enjoy. And the other part that's really nice about this is it's something you can do as a whole family. It's not just the child or the adult with autism, it's everybody in your family. So siblings can swim, parents swim, sometimes grandma and grandpas come, cousins come. So it's a true family event and a really lovely way to get out and enjoy some athletic activities. Baseball leagues that are designed for special needs population. We've got the Miracle League, which is a baseball, softball league for special needs individuals, and they start offering that at 5 years all the way through adulthood. Scripps Ranch Challenger League is another program. Now that runs from 5 to 18 years of age, and their information is right here. So both of these are baseball programs for special needs individuals. Special Olympics has been around for a very, very long time. They have lots of different programming, and they actually have programming starting at age 2. So wow, all the way down to age 2. Again, wonderful organization. They are active in our community, and I encourage you to take a look at what they have going on. Top Soccer, some families, some kids really want to be soccer players. So ages 4 and up, there's an organization called Top Soccer that has a special needs soccer program. And again, I'm sure there's others in the community, but I wanted to give you starting places for all of these different things. And yes, more sports activities. Like I said, there's a lot going on in San Diego, so that's good. There's basketball. There's the San Marcos Youth Basketball Shooting Stars program. And again, special needs population can participate. This is for ages 5 through 22 years of age. And then there's the Challenge Poway Youth Basketball League. And again, in Poway. I couldn't find exactly on their website what ages they serve, so you'd have to call them or email them and say, what age groups do you serve? I'm going to assume it's very similar to the Shooting Stars program. Limitless Adventures is another local nonprofit here in San Diego. It's a group of young people who said everybody deserves to enjoy the outdoors to the maximum of our capacity, and we live in a beautiful place in order to do that. So they arrange monthly free hikes for developmentally disabled adults, and you just have to go on their website, sign up. They ask for a little bit of information, and they're easy hikes. You know, we're not rappelling down the sides of mountains here. It's very easy, user-friendly walk hikes that they go on, and it's various locations throughout San Diego County. So if hiking is something that you think somebody would enjoy, I encourage you to check it out. Really nice group and really easy to participate. American Youth Soccer Organization, ASO, they have what's called a VIP program for special needs. Again, I would just contact them and find out the details on what they've got going on right now. Maybe tennis is your thing. So we've got another organization in town. They're called Acing Autism. It's a tennis program for 5 to 18-year-olds. I did check their website. It looks like they do have some local activities going on with the Acing Autism. I feel like one of them might have been Solana Beach, but again, go to their website and just check out what they have available and what's up and running at this time. There's another nonprofit in San Diego called the Best Day Foundation, and they provide water sports events for all ages, and that's also in San Diego County. I think they typically do their activities up in North County, but they'll do boogie boarding, surfboarding, stand-up paddle boarding, different kinds of things like that. Again, they support special needs individuals. So if you're interested in that, and I do think they're more North County focused. That doesn't mean you have to live in North County, but just geographically, so you know where they usually do their activities. I believe it's in North County. And then Surfers Healing is another surf group here in San Diego, and they offer one-day surfing events as well as a one-week camp once a year in the summer down at the beach. They go all over the United States offering surf workshops. And I will mention that the Autism Society also has a surf camp. We'll talk about that later. But again, I feel like there's something for everyone here in the sports arena. And I think physical activity is really important for the lifespan for individuals on the spectrum. I think it helps with their sensory. I think just in general, it helps with all of us with our mood and our overall sense of well-being. So I encourage you to look at these and really think about things that you might be able to do. Lots of horseback riding programs in San Diego. So I decided to have it have its own slide. So a lot of really amazing nonprofits in San Diego offer horseback riding, therapeutic horseback riding. So what does that mean? It means that they specifically want to work with individuals with disabilities. And I've listed many of them here for you. So again, just check them out, see what they have to offer, see if it's cost affordable for you, and check it out. I've heard good things actually about all of these different organizations. I think some of it's geography. If they're accessible to you, mind you, these are not going to be happening in downtown San Diego, right? These are horse ranches. So they're going to be typically more in the outskirts, more rural areas of our community. So just keep that in mind. I think Partners Therapeutic Horsemanship might be in Poway, and BITS might be in Poway, Helen Woodward's in Rancho Santa Fe. So, but again, those are probably the closest in. And then the others of these, I think, are more lakeside and those kinds of areas, Santee, out in those areas of the county. But again, check it out. And I think it's really amazing that there's a lot of individuals in our community that really want to support individuals with developmental disabilities and have offered up their horse ranches to do this. So there you go. Maybe music theater museums is something that you like or your family member likes. Arms Wide Open is a local theater group, specifically 100% for people with developmental disabilities. They work with individuals elementary through adult, and they actually work on putting on plays, and they do shows. When I check their website, I want to say they're going to have a live theater performance that they're working on now, and they're planning to launch it, I believe, in February. I want to say it's The Lion King, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So anyway, really fun group. And even if your loved one isn't one to participate in it, check them out and go to their shows. They always want the community to come out and see the individuals performing. So I think that's great. Banding Together is actually a group that's been put together by some local music therapists. What they do is they have jam sessions, playing instruments, getting together, and they actually start doing this at 3 years all the way up through adulthood. They have different age groups on their website. So depending on your age group, you can sign up for a number of their fun music-based activities. There's a number of theaters in San Diego who have done sensory-friendly performances. And so I know for certain that the Old Globe is offering How the Grinch Stole Christmas again this year. They've done this a number of years where they offer a sensory-friendly performance. And that will be happening at the Old Globe this year. I can't give you the exact date, but you can go to their calendar or call them. And I believe it's like the second Saturday in December. Tickets are on sale now for that. San Diego Junior Theater, the Signet Theater, and others have offered sensory-friendly performances. I think as theaters and shows open up again, you're going to start seeing more opportunities and more offerings of these types of performances. What they do at the sensory-friendly performances is, one, everybody that's there knows there's people with autism and developmental disabilities, so you don't get the same feedback, if you will, as if you were going to a typical performance. So if someone's making noise or feels like they have to get up and walk, or they're flapping their hands during the performance, everybody gets it and nobody's upset. Versus if you tried to go to traditional performance, I think that would be hard for all of us, truthfully. They also tone down some of the loud noises, some of the bright lights, that kind of thing. And the other thing they do is they don't offer an intermission. I know that's hard for my sons. It's like, okay, the show's over, we're leaving. So, you know, you leave and then you come back in. It's like, to them, they never understood that. So they don't do intermissions. It's just, and if they need to, they'll abbreviate the performance. So it's just a straight through, which I think is a good idea. There's an organization called the National Comedy Theater. It's got a national title, but it is here in San Diego. I think they meet down at the Liberty Station area down in Point Loma, and it has a special program within their offering called Unscripted Learning, and it's an improv class for individuals on the spectrum, for teens and youth. I have had some friends, colleagues that have had their loved ones go to that, and they say it's been great just to help with their self-esteem. And so I think it's kind of a neat thing. And again, they work with developmentally delayed autistic individuals at Unscripted Learning, which is a program of National Comedy Theater. San Diego Natural History Museum had their ASD mornings, and that was open for all ages. Again, it wasn't just for littles. So at Natural History Museum, and then what they had done was they were opening up early on certain days of the week and of the month. I put the website here. I think they said it was on hiatus right now, but they were hoping to open up soon. So again, I think some of this will be coming. And then another nonprofit in town that's doing a lot of really fun activities is Sensory Friendly San Diego. I would encourage you to go to their website. As I said, we've partnered with them for our imagination workshops and Friends with Films, but they have lots of other things they're doing over there at Sensory Friendly San Diego. So again, a fun thing to check out. So there's a lot of autism support, nonprofits type of things going on in San Diego. And I think each of us has something really nice to offer our community. So again, the Autism Society San Diego, of which Alyssa and I are both board members, we know the most about that. Another really wonderful local nonprofit is NFAR, which stands for National Foundation for Autism Research. I would encourage you to go to their website. I know a lot of things they do is they do offer vocational training for adults, primarily in the tech area, data area, with the idea in mind that they're trying to partner with local businesses to help individuals become get jobs. They also have a mom's group and a dad's group for support and a number of other programs. They are also quite generous in granting teachers and other programs in town funds to help further their work and efforts. So a lot of really nice things they have to offer. Autism Tree Project Foundation is another local nonprofit. They have a whole lot of programming going on in mentorships, activity workshops. They typically do a holiday party. I don't know whether they're doing one this year. So again, I would just make you aware of this nonprofit. Go check out their website and see if there's some things on there that would appeal to your loved one. TACA is the Autism Community in Action, and they have a lot of support groups, a lot of information and different programs they run. Home of the Guiding Hands is a local nonprofit. I think one of the main things they do, well, they do a lot of things. They provide supported living, they provided tailored day programs, they offer respite care through the regional center. But I think something that many of you may not know, we talked about this in an earlier lecture, is they have, I believe it's a 4 or 6 part series called the Life Planning Project. It helps you go through step by step the things you need to be doing, thinking about and planning for your loved ones in terms of life planning. And so I think that's really a great opportunity. I do believe they charge for that, but I'm going to tell you, I believe you can ask Regional Center to fund the tuition for that program, and they will. So just making you aware of that. Take Me Home Registry is unique to San Diego County. What it is it was a program started a number of years ago by the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. The idea is that individuals who are at risk of being lost, being confused, unable to adequately advocate for themselves with first responders, we can upload their information into the Take Me Home Registry, which includes a photograph, diagnosis, age, date of birth, name, this kind of information. So that if we have to call 911 or someone calls 911 and we say they're in the Take Me Home Registry, they should be able to pull up our loved one's profile and go, okay, now we know, and they can share that with law enforcement so that when they go out and are interacting with our loved one, that they have a little bit of background and have a better sense of how to engage with them. You know, as my sons have become adults, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm always worried if they got lost or ran away and the police were trying to stop them. They said, stop or put your hands up. They wouldn't do any of that. They wouldn't. They'd probably start yelling or running away. And I always worry about, you know, what's going to happen in those interactions if there isn't somebody with them that can advocate for them. So I think this is one way we can at least try and minimize something like that happening. Self-advocacy, there is a nationwide group called the ASAN, Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. If that's something you're interested in and want to learn more about, I put their website here for you. I want to go into a little bit more detail about the Autism Society of San Diego. As I said, it is the one I know the most about. The other organizations have lots of programs too, but just I feel like, do a lot of different things for our community. And so I just wanted to do a quick overview for all of you so you can be aware of the opportunities that exist. We do various camps for individuals of all ages, starting at age 5. We have surf camps starting at age 5. All the way through adulthood. Some people think you age out of surf camp. You don't. My sons still go every summer. And as I mentioned earlier, they're 28 and 30 years old, so they go every year. We also have a summer camp called Camp I Can, which is a partnership with the Toby Wells Y and the Eki Y, which is for children ages 6 through 17 years of age. And it's a typical summer day camp, but we provide a high level of staff support for both Camp I Can and surf camp so that our individuals are safe. We are aware that some children and adults may not be able to be safe in the community unless they have like a one-on-one with them. And we provide those accommodations. The staff is trained and knows how to work with autistic individuals. AWARE stands for Adults with Autism Recreation Experience. It's been on hiatus for a couple of years, but I'm happy to report that we're going to ramp it up for 2022. Stay tuned. We are going to probably have a monthly event, a monthly social event for adults. This will be for 18 and older. And in the summer, we'll have a week of a recreation week for adults on the spectrum. So like I said, stay tuned. And another camp we offer is called Family Camp. It's an overnight camp for 2 nights, Friday and Saturday nights, up at Camp Marston, again at the Y up there. And that's for your entire family. We offer that twice a year. We just had Family Camp about 3 weeks ago. But I believe we're on tap to have Family Camp happen again in March. And it's really fun, lots of volunteers, and there's lots of fun activities. And again, that's for all ages of Family Camp. Monthly autism events that we have done, and we're hoping to ramp up again, is we had a couple of events with the library. We would do sensory Sundays with them where we had a special guest, we had a clown, we had someone that did water toys, all kinds of fun things. This typically was for younger kids, to be honest with you, but the Y opened an hour early. One of our board members would be there to co-host and just had a really nice time at the library with their family. Pool, I mentioned that earlier. Once a month we have a pool party. We're hoping to start up our family gym nights, which we used to have at the Eki Y up in the Carlsbad area, and hopefully getting back our bowling nights, which was for teens and young adults on the spectrum. Sensory-friendly movies, in partnership with the AMC Mission Valley and Palm Promenade locations, they offer a number of sensory-friendly movies for our families and our community. They are offering these now. So what does that mean? It just means that, again, the people that are in the theater know that there's individuals on the spectrum. If somebody's yelling, if somebody's getting up, walking around, that's all tolerated. They try and tone the volume down on the films and that kind of thing. So that's what sensory-friendly movies look like. As we get information that what the movies are going to be and when and where they're going to be, we post those on our meetup site as best we can, as well as on our social media. And we offer a number of social and support groups, which I think is another benefit of living here. There's a lot of really rich opportunities, all locations, all times of the day. So hopefully there's something for everybody to connect with us. We have a North County meeting. I think they call it happy hour now. You don't have to drink. It's just that it's held around happy hour time in the early evening. So again, it's just open forum and you can sit and talk. Then there's a coffee talk, which is held during the day at North County locations. And we also have a Spanish language support group that meets once a month. Again, teen and adult social groups, I mentioned those earlier. And then we also have an adult support and information group that's a support group specifically for family members of adults on the spectrum and individuals themselves on the spectrum. And then another benefit of just partly being part of our organization is we allow you to be eligible for the camps when we can. We're going to try and get the discounted Disneyland tickets again, eligibility for research grant and generous conference scholarships. So we do offer that as well. So those are some of the benefits. This is a little bit of a pivot, but I want to talk a little bit about public benefits. A lot of these are not just unique to California, they're probably federal as well, but I just wanted to quickly summarize some public benefits if you are unaware of those that you may be able to access. The first one's called SSI. It's Supplemental Security Income, and it's based on financial need, and it's based on a person's inability to work. SSI for individuals under the age of 18 is dependent on the entire family's finances, the entire family. So low-income families, and you have a child with autism, you may qualify for SSI. And I can't tell you exactly what the thresholds are because it depends on how many people are in the home, how much money everybody else is making, and those kinds of things. When the person with autism turns 18, the whole family's income no longer applies. It's just whatever the income is of that 18-year-old. And I don't know about all of you, but I know my sons at 18 were not able to work and will not be able to work successfully to support themselves. So when they were assessed for SSI eligibility, one criteria was they have no money, and two, they are unable to work successfully. And so the point I'm trying to make is when your loved one turns 18, you should apply for SSI and get that started. If SSI is approved, they will automatically qualify for Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal and SSI are linked because, again, they're assuming if a person meets the criteria for SSI, they're low income and they can get Medi-Cal. Okay. SSI is often confused with Social Security benefits. SSI is not funded through Social Security at all. It comes out of a tax-generated revenue. So I just want everybody to understand that. SSI is supplemental security income. It has nothing to do with Social Security. That being said, Social Security. So if your adult child is dependent on you, which will be the case in my situation, when my husband or I, when we retire and we start drawing our Social Security, our adult children can get up to 50% of whatever our Social Security is. So for example, if my Social Security is $2,800 a month, my adult dependent child can now draw on my Social Security at 50% of that. So they would drop off SSI and now be on my Social Security at that point in time. This is also true if the parent dies. So you can, if parent dies, they were working, they paid into Social Security, that dependent child can get up to 50% of what they would have gotten for Social Security. When the parent dies, the adult dependent child would get 75% of their Social Security. Okay, so that's how you see some adults on the spectrum, even kids on the spectrum that are on Social Security and they're not on SSI. It's because of the situation with the parents. Either the parents are themselves retired and drawing on Social Security, or the parents have died and they're drawing on Social Security. So either way. As I mentioned, Medi-Cal is federally, it's known as Medicaid. That's the same thing as this. It's either based on household income. Now, the other way, which is unique to California, that your child, adult, person with autism can get Medi-Cal is obtaining a waiver from the regional center. The state of California has stated that anybody with a developmental disability who's a regional center client is eligible for Medi-Cal. We will waive the income criteria. So go back to the first thing. What did I say about SSI and all of that? You've got it, it's based on income. So is Medi-Cal. But the state of California has a special category of Medi-Cal that says, look, we're going to give everybody with a developmental disability Medi-Cal because they need it. We're not going to look at the family's income. We're not going to look at the individual's income. They're just going to get Medi-Cal. So you get a letter from the regional center that says, John Doe is a client of San Diego Regional Center and is eligible for Medi-Cal through the waiver program. And you submit that with your Medi-Cal application. Many of you and many parents I've talked to get confused about this. They're like, well, we won't qualify for Medi-Cal because we make too much money. And that's true. You won't get it for your whole family. You will only get it for the individual who's eligible through the waiver program. So the child only will get Medi-Cal in this situation. Yes, if your whole family's low income and you meet the financial criteria, then yeah, everybody gets regular Medi-Cal, but everybody that has a regional center client person in their life should be getting the waiver letter and applying. As I said, you don't get the waiver as an adult because at that point they're saying, look, you need to apply for SSI and get Medi-Cal through that program. So I think they stopped issuing waiver letters around the age of 19 because they tell you you need to apply for SSI and regular Medi-Cal. So the waiver is really applicable for when you're less than 19 years old. Medicare. So, we hear about Medicare all the time. We think about that. That's the old people's insurance. It's people when they retire, they're on their Social Security. Now they're happy. They turn 65. They can get Medicare. Well, guess what? Your adult dependent children can also be on Medicare. So once, we're on Social Security, we put our kid on our Social Security at 50%. And after 2 years of our adult child being on Social Security, they can also now get Medicare. So again, this is why you're going to be seeing 35, 40-year-old adult dependent children, and they're going to have Medicare and they're going to be on Social Security, even though they never worked. It's because of what their parents paid into the system. They are eligible. So again, just food for thought. Typically, because adults with autism oftentimes still are low income, they'll have Medicare as their primary and they'll still qualify for Medi-Cal as their secondary. So their primary insurance will end up being Medicare with Medi-Cal secondary, and that all gets worked out. Another big reason to get the Medi-Cal waiver, another big reason to have Medi-Cal is because that makes you eligible for another public benefit available to us here in California called IHSS, which stands for In-Home Supportive Services. The prerequisite to even starting the application to IHSS is you must have Medi-Cal. That's the only way that you're going to get the door open to IHSS. Why? What is IHSS? The idea behind it is it's a program for disabled individuals, seniors, people who require a high level of care in the home in order for them to remain in their home successfully. The state of California recognizes that it's less expensive to pay caregivers to care for someone in their home versus institutional care, whether that's group homes, institutions, nursing homes, long-term care facilities, whatever they look like. Those are always going to be more costly than in-home care. So they fund individuals to get the care they need so they can remain safely in their home. For children, it's sometimes a little harder to get IHSS because let's face it, all 2 and 3-year-olds require 24-hour supervision, right? But I'm not saying people with 2 and 3-year-olds don't get IHSS. What they do is they send a social worker out to your house and they assess what the needs are, safety, self-injurious behavior. It actually got easier as my sons got older because I still needed to assist them with bathing and showering, shaving. I still have to make all their appointments. I have to drive them to places. So as you get older, you actually get more time allocated to you for caring for them if their needs are at that level, and that's fine. What they do is they evaluate what are you as the caregiver doing that's above and beyond what would be necessary for a person of same age. So that if it's an 8-year-old, they say, okay, what is a typical 8-year-old? Can they dress themselves? Can they put their own shoes on? Are you having to give medication 5 times a day to this person? You wouldn't expect an 8-year-old to do that. So they look at all that. And then if you're doing above and beyond what would be expected for care of a child or an adult of the same age, they give you hours for that. So just a little background on that. There's some wonderful resources online about how to apply for IHSS. And I always tell people, apply, it can't hurt to apply and see what they say. EBT is another benefit I want to make all of you aware of. People on SSI should automatically qualify for EBT, by the way. Electronic benefit transfer, AKA food stamps, is what the old name is. I think they got away from that because of the stigmatization of it, but it's basically the state says you're eligible for cash aid or for CalFresh, which is their version of food stamps. And they automatically load a debit card every month to help offset the costs and help pay for food for the individuals. So again, very easy to apply for. If you're on SSI or your family needs it, I would apply. Section 8 housing is a voucher program in the state. It's throughout the state, but in San Diego, they call it Section 8, a voucher. It's to help you get a voucher to help pay for housing. You become eligible for this at age 18. I would encourage all of you to put your loved ones once they turn 18 on the waiting list, even if you're like, I'm not ready for them to move out. They're not going to be ready, maybe someday. Well, that maybe someday is probably the first time you're going to get called because the waiting list is over 10 years for a voucher. And it's probably getting longer with the costs of housing here in San Diego. So no harm, no foul, sign up for it. If your name comes up and by some miracle they call you and you say, I'm not ready yet, then just say, keep me on the list and go on to the next person. But there's no downside, in my opinion, to getting your names on the Section 8 housing voucher list as another option. Another really great organization in town that I wanted to make you aware of is also called Legal Aid Society. Their services are free, and they have a whole lot of different departments in areas that I think a lot of us could use help with. I know legal counsel can be very expensive, but they can assist you with IHSS advocacy if you're having trouble getting IHS to approve you. They can also help you with application or denials of SSI. They can assist you with housing issues, and they also have a conservatorship workshop, which will come up for our loved ones when they turn 18. This is sort of a hodgepodge of miscellaneous things I thought you'd like to know. You may not be aware, but you can get a disabled parking placard if you have a family member with autism. Particularly useful when my kids were younger and they were runners, and I would be nervous if I pulled into the parking lot of an amusement park or at the beach or at the grocery store, Target, wherever I was going, and they would take off running. It's a safety issue. And so I needed to park close to the front of the store. So there was a short distance between our car and getting in the building for safety reasons. That's just one example. There's an application you can start online. The individual's primary care provider needs to fill out their part, and it's readily available. SDG&E has the California Alternative Rates for Energy program, and it's designed for individuals who within a certain income bracket and on certain public assistance programs. SSI happens to be one of them. I think IHSS might be one of them as well. I would encourage all of you to look at the SDG&E care program and again, apply, and all they can do is say you don't qualify. But if you do, you can get to 30% off of your electric bill. So again, another thing you may not know about. With the COVID relief legislation that was passed federally, they developed some emergency broadband assistance money. And the address is here. And again, anybody that's on Medicaid, SSI is eligible for this. I was surprised. I went on and applied for my son's, and it's up to $50 a month off on your internet bill. So we've been getting $50 off on our internet bill for the last few months. So I wanted to let you know about it. It's still going on. It's still open. And the only way I found out about it is I was calling Spectrum, which happens to be our internet provider. I had a question about something else, and I just, for some reason, said to her, do you have any programs for disability or, discount programs? And she says, well, as a matter of fact, and she told me about this. So there you go. And so I'm sharing it with you. And then haircuts comes up commonly. And there is a really lovely salon, and I think they're in the Point Loma area, called Therapy. How fun is that? And they have staff there specifically able and willing to work with kids and adults that have challenges sitting in the chair, get overwhelmed with the sensory, the clippers, all the things that we worry about. And so again, there's other hairstylists certainly in the city and in the county that I'm sure are great with autistic people, but this one is a really common one. And they specifically have set up their salon with sensory friendly stuff and really made it really friendly. So not so scary for somebody to get a haircut if they're fearful of that. So just as an FYI. So I've been talking a long time here, hopefully, yeah, so we're pretty much on time. So enjoy all San Diego has to offer. I think we live in a wonderful community, and I think there's a lot of really great things for all of us here. And I hope this was useful for all of you and that you enjoyed hearing about all that San Diego has to offer. This has been recorded. And I wanted to let all of you know that it will be uploaded on the Autism Society San Diego YouTube channel under the Current Topics in Autism playlist. And we want to thank you for joining us today.